political level, it's funny because we always think of everything's red or blue, but there are a tremendous amount of independents, in some cases, maybe more than red or blue. And it's nice to have an independent candidate actually win.
Yeah.
And I think it's refreshing. It's harder to do when you get into partisan races, but at the city level, I think it's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, I think I talked about District 2 being split up, but I think Poway as a whole is even closer, is like almost, there's only like 1,000 voter registration difference between Republicans and Democrats, with Republicans in the lead, slight lead. But there's a big number of just other voters out there. I mean, so you really can look at Poway as a third, Democrat, Republican, and then just other, which is mostly no party preference, independents. But, there are some handful of libertarians and Green Party candidates. And, there's even like the American Independent Party, which I think people accidentally sign up for. Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
so.
That's right.
Yeah. But, Poway is a really interesting mix of ideas and voters. And so it's nice to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, a city council that is starting to represent that more.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of the whole point of local representation too.
Yeah.
And I think some people might get, they have the perception of Poway being a country town, being kind of a red zone for so long. And then people drive by Twin Peaks and Pomerado with all the Trump supporters. Mm-hmm. People may not realize that Poway, to your point, is a third.
Yeah. I mean, the Trump supporters on the corner kind of took over from a more liberal group that had been there, for quite a while longer. And I think at some point that liberal group kind of said, this is a little bit too crazy. We don't want all this conflict on the corner. And they've moved on, and they may meet on Poway Road now. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure about that, but but I think that like that display on that corner of Twin Peaks skews people's vision of Poway for sure when they come into town to shop at Target or the Amazon Fresh or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, well, it's the new store in town. That's the excitement in Poway. Right. I remember originally, to your point, a more liberal group, I think it was the local Democrats were there in the George W. Bush era, and they were against the Iraq War. And I think that's the first time I saw them. And they were just on that one corner by Jersey Mike's, and then, it turned into a circus 2 or 3 election cycles ago. And I mean, there was violence, and that was really sad.
Yeah. I'm all for, people exercising their First Amendment rights, but, obviously you want to see that happen without violence and without conflict and see that people do that peacefully. And, it's too bad that it ended up becoming a situation where, liberal voices did not feel safe anymore on that corner.
Yeah. The whole thing is just, it's like a theater when you go through there. I mean, it's unbelievable. Sometimes I feel like taking my podcast and putting a table out there and then kind of inviting a community forum. That would be kind of fun.